Good morning, students. Today we learn statistics. Under this, we'll be specifically learning what is frequency polygon and how to construct a frequency polygon. Firstly, let us look into what is a frequency polygon. Frequency polygon is nothing but a line graph for the graphical representation of the frequency distribution. And here, the midpoints of histogram bars are joined by straight lines to draw a frequency polygon. And it is called a polygon as it consists of a number of lines as sides of a polygon. Useful in comparing two or more frequency distributions. Frequency polygon is useful in comparing two or more frequency distributions. And this is constructed in two ways. One is using histogram. As we have already seen, midpoints of histogram bars are joined by straight lines to construct a frequency polygon. And the second is without using a histogram and using midpoints. Here in this graph, as you can see, the green color bars are the histogram and the lines joining the midpoints of these bars construct the frequency polygon. Let's look into one question. This question is from exercise 6.2. Question number 6. The distribution of heights in centimeter of 100 people is given below. Construct a histogram and the frequency polygon imposed on it. So first we must construct a histogram and then construct a frequency polygon with the histogram. So the height are given, frequency is also given. As you can see, the class intervals of the height, they are not continuous. The given distribution is discontinuous. Hence we must first make it continuous. To make it continuous, we must find the lower boundary and the upper boundary for each class interval. For the lower boundary, the formula is lower limit minus half into gap between adjacent class interval. Here the lower limit is 125 and the gap between adjacent class interval is 1. So 125 minus half into 1 will be 124.5. And for upper boundary, it is upper limit plus half into gap between adjacent class interval. So upper limit here is 135. So 135 plus half into 1 is 135.5. We can directly find the upper limit and the lower limit, which is upper boundary and the lower boundary for each height class interval directly by adding half and subtracting half. So we have got the From the calculations we have already done, we have the height and frequency. With this, let us draw the graph. To draw the graph, first we draw the two lines, x-axis and y-axis. Once we have drawn the two lines, we must mark x-axis and y-axis because once you go to higher classes and 3D geometry comes in, we'll have z-axis as well. We must start practicing this here itself. Once this is drawn, we move to marking 0. After 0, we put kink. The symbol, the zigzag symbol which is put up in the board is called kink. This is put up when the class intervals do not start from 0. Here the class intervals start from 124.5, hence kink is used. So first class interval 124.5 and then we move to next class intervals 135.5, 146.5, 157.5 and so on till 201.5. And we mark it as height and then we move to the next part, y-axis. Here we are splitting this into 5, 10, 20 because the highest is 24 which is lesser than 25. And then once we mark the y-axis, we put it as frequency and the distribution should be marked on the right side. X-axis is 2 cm for 10 years and y-axis is 1 cm for 10 frequency, which is frequency. And then first bar is drawn. First bar represents frequency 12, which is from the class interval 124.5 to 135.5. The second bar is also put up, which is 22 frequency. Third bar 18 frequency. Fourth bar 24 frequency. Fifth bar 15 frequency. Sixth bar 7 frequency, and then 2 frequency. Now once the histogram is done, we must join the centers of all of these histogram bars and find the frequency polygon. So we start from the kink to the center or the midpoint of the first bar, and then midpoints are joined together for the first bar graph and the second bar graph. We keep joining the midpoints. As we join the midpoints, the histogram bars go behind and the frequency polygon is imposed on the histogram, and hence the answer answer is reached. So we have drawn the frequency polygon on top of the histogram using the histogram. This is the first method which we will be looking into. And then next question is, in a study of dental problems, the following data were obtained. Ages are given. Number of patients for each age group is also given. Represent the above data by a frequency polygon. Here, draw a histogram is not given. Hence, we need not construct a histogram to draw the frequency polygon, and we must directly construct the frequency polygon. To directly construct the frequency polygon, first we must find the midpoints of each class interval. So 0 to 10, the midpoint will be 5. 10 to 20, the midpoint will be 15. And so on. 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. We find the midpoints for each class interval. Once the midpoints are ready, we start off to draw the graph. We start off with x-axis and y-axis. We mark them with x and y. After we mark the x and y-axis, we draw the point 0, and then I have distributed the x-axis into 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on as the class interval goes on. Then once the x-axis is done, we denote it by age, and then we go to y-axis. 10, 20, 30. I have taken this distribution because the highest number of patients is 50 for class interval 70 to 80. Then once that is done, we write down number of patients for y-axis, and this distribution is chosen as x-axis, where 2 cm is 10 years, and y-axis 1 cm is 10 number of patients. And then first line joins 0 to 5, 5. 5, 5 because the number of patient is also 5, midpoint is also 5. And then the second point will be 15, 13 because the midpoint is 15, which is on the, according to the x-axis, and 13 which is according to the y-axis. 13 is the number of patients. And the next point will be 25, 25, joining the line to 25, 25. Then from there to 35 to 14 and 45, 30, then 55, 35, 65, 43 and 75, 50. Once we have joined all of these points, we get the frequency polygon which we are trying to find. Here we have not used histograms and we have directly found the frequency polygon, and hence this question is also. Hope all of you have understood how to draw a frequency polygon and the two methods which we use to draw a frequency polygon. One is with histogram and one is without histogram. Thank you.